How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. The NBA Finals MVP award, one of the most prestigious for a champion, especially for all-time greats looking to solidify their legacies forever. The best of the best the game has seen have won multiple Finals MVPs. However, some of the role players will snatch the award every often since they had the better NBA Finals series, while the superstar player was clearly better in the rounds prior. With that said, let's take a look at all the Finals MVP awards, and let's examine the shocking NBA Finals MVP winners compared to their superstar teammates that would have been the postseason MVP of that year. 1969, the first and only season in the league's 52 years of Finals MVP existence that a player on a losing team won the award. Jerry West averaged 31.7.5 assists throughout the 69 postseason, 100% well-deserved. No doubt he was the best Laker that playoffs, while Wilt and Elgin each struggled, averaged under 16 a game. 1970, Willis Reed averaged nearly 24 and 14 throughout the 70 postseason. Despite being injured Game 5 of the Finals and teammates Walt Frazier's insane Game 7 performance, Frazier averaged under 17 a game that postseason. No debate here. 1971, easily Kareem Jabbar averaged nearly 27 and 17 on a 12 and 2 postseason run. Bob Damrich and Oscar Robertson 19 and 18 points a game. Jabbar by far the best player. 1972, based on the stats, one of the most balanced teams all time, the greatest team up to that point, part of the 33-game win streak. Finals MVP will put up 15 and 21, but the fourth leading scorer though, behind Gail Goodrich 24 a game in his prime, Jerry West 23, 5 and 9, but under 38% shooting, Jim McMillan 19 a game, and Happy Hairston 13 and 13, while Goodrich and West each put up 28.5 points in the semis. Wilt averaged just under 11 but over 19 boards versus the Bucks. He was the most valuable Laker that series, guarding Kareem. Although Jabbar averaged nearly 34 and 18, was held to 46% from the field, while in the deciding Game 6, Wilt had 20 and 24, unofficially registered at least 9 blocks. Al Hustle, the younger Jabbar, held him to under 42% shooting the last 4 games. In the Finals, Wilt was also the most efficient Laker, averaged over 19 and 23 on 60% shooting. Although West and Goodrich averaged more, West was held to 33% from the field, as Walt Frazier shot 59%. Wilt Chamberlain, in my opinion, also would have clearly been the 1972 playoffs MVP. 1973, Willis Reed, his second Finals MVP with the franchise, but the playoff MVP was clearly Walt Clyde Frazier, who also had a case for Finals MVP. During the 17 postseason games, Frazier led the team in scoring, averaged 22, 7 and 6 on over 51% shooting, while Reed 12.5 points, 7.5 boards on 47%. Against the 68-win Celtics, the favorites to win it all, it was Frazier who was the Knicks' best player that series, averaged 26, 7 and 6, while Reed just 10.5 points, 6.5 boards on 43% shooting, outplayed by MVP Dave Cowens at 24 and 14 in an important Game 7 at Boston Garden. The C's haven't lost a Game 7 home game in franchise postseason play up to that point. It was Frazier who put up 25, 10 and 7 and dominated, while Reed only had 15 and 6. Frazier averaged 24, 7 and 7 prior to the Finals. Also, his legacy doesn't often get remembered amongst the greatest all-time point guards. Clyde clearly the 73 playoff MVP for the Knicks without question. 1974, Boston Celtics, John Havlicek Finals MVP, also deserving a playoff MVP. The 18-game Hondo averaged 27, 6.5 boards, 6 assists, while superstar Cowens 20.5 points, over 13 rebounds. First round Hondo nearly 26, 8 and 8, Cowens 19 and 16, being hurt in 73 versus New York. Havlicek then averaged nearly 30 points for the series on 60% shooting. The 34-year-old, still on top of his game, was the best player in Boston, edging out Kareem's Bucks. 1975, Rick Barry without question, one of the greatest single-season carry jobs all time. Golden State had no business winning the title. Second best player rookie Jamal Wilkes. Barry averaged over 28 a game, everybody else just a role player. 1976, very close between JoJo White, the Finals MVP, and Dave Cowens. Both their numbers very identical. Cowens got the better of Bob McAdoo in round 1 series. Round 2 against Cleveland, White put up the better numbers at 22.5 a game. Cowens held to 39% shooting, but I'm giving the edge to White mainly because of the triple overtime Game 5 thriller in the Finals. Logged in 60 minutes, put up 33, 6 and 9. Cowens 26 and 19, also dominant, but went just 9 of 23 from the field. White was the best player that game, and arguably the greatest NBA game of the 20th century. That solidifies him as the 76 playoff MVP in my book. 1977, Bill Walton without question, the superstar big leading a bunch of good players, averaged 18 17.5 points, 19 boards, over 5 assists, and 4 blocks in the playoffs. The best passer on his team, best defensive big in the game, swept Kareem's Lakers in the conference finals. Big Red well-deserved playoff MVP. 1978 Finals MVP Wes Unseld, who averaged just 9-11 as the leader of that team in the finals. While Elvin Hayes fouled out in Game 7, was clearly the team's most talented player, just not a leader. Hayes averaged 22 and 13 in 21 postseason games. Bob Danrich 21. There were also talks Hayes often complained and the refs despised him. That's why he picked up many fouls in Game 7. Never a good look to hand someone an award after fouling out in the most important game of the year. A collective team effort for the Bullets. Second round against George Gervin's Spurs. Hayes shot brightest, averaged over 24 and 13, 55% shooting. Danrich over 20 that series, Unseld 10 and 10, Hayes 25 and 15 in the closeout Game 6, a 3-point win. Danrich missed one game against Philly. Hayes put up over 23 and 16. Danrich 23 points on 51% shooting, matched Dr. J's intensity. Overall, I'm going with Bobby Danrich as Washington's playoff MVP since he scored 19 in Game 7 of the finals, signed as a free agent the summer before. Unseld and Hayes never got over the hump. The Bullets wouldn't have won without Danrich. Matching up with Gervin and Dr. J the 2 series before, that's why I give the playoff MVP edge to Bob Danrich slightly over Elvin Hayes. 1979, Dennis Johnson was Finals MVP, but playoff MVP, in my opinion, belonged to Guts Williams, who averaged 26.7 points in 17 games. Johnson, the better all-around player and defender. Round 1, Guts got off to a blasting start, averaged 31 points on 50% shooting, outscored the Lakers' Kareem. While in the conference finals, Williams averaged 22 a game, Johnson 20. In the finals, Williams put up 29 points, but DJ 22, 6 and 6 got the nod for Finals MVP. While Williams provided most of the scoring, crazy to imagine somebody scoring 29 a game in the finals and not win Finals MVP. 1980, the answer is simply Kareem Jabbar, no doubt about that. The 6-time MVP averaged 32-12 on 57% shooting 15 games because he didn't travel for Game 6 against Philly due to the injury. The Finals MVP award handed to Magic, but Jabbar's great season shouldn't be underestimated. Although 20-year-old Johnson put up 42 points in the series clincher, Cap netted in 30 plus 11 of the 15 games, the best player in the NBA that year. While in 81, Cedric Maxwell won Finals MVP over Bird because Larry had 2 bad Finals games where he scored 8 points each, but the entire postseason, it was Bird who carried the seas on his shoulder. The second-year sensation averaged 22 a game, 14 rebounds, 6 dimes, over 2 steals, a block. Archibald over 15, Maxwell 16 points. The most important series wasn't even in the finals. Against the less talented Rockets, that was a cakewalk, but against MVP Dr. J Sixers, Bird, the MVP runner-up, outplayed Irving, nearly averaged 27 and 14 in the series, 2 steals, a block and a half. Irving held to just 20 points. Larry led a 3-1 comeback, 32 and 11 the 5th game, followed by 25 and 16 in Game 6, drained the go-ahead jumper in Game 7, carried his team to 3 straight wins. Bird was by far the best player in the 81 playoffs besides 2 of those finals games. 1982, arguably the most balanced championship team all time. Look at the numbers, 1 to 5. Absolutely loaded. Magic, Nixon, Wilkes, Jabbar, and MacLeod all averaged between 16.5 to 20.5 points for the playoffs. Magic, the engine to the offense, got into a feud with the franchise. Regarding coaching, Pat Riley took over. Super insanely balanced. Honestly, any of these 5 guys could have won the Finals MVP and even get the nod for playoff MVP. Whoever got the hot hand dominated one night, followed by another. Just going by the numbers, versus Phoenix, Wilkes, the hot hand, averaged over 24 a game, 65% shooting, but Kareem and Magic averaged over 20. Magic, in fact, 20, 12, and 11, triple-double numbers for that series. While it was Nixon's turn to take over San Antonio to average above 26, Jabbar 24, while Magic just 2-10 of an assist from averaging another triple-double. Johnson did post the lucky number 13, 13, and 13 in the finals clincher Game 6, the first finals triple-double and the clinching win. Johnson number 4 in scoring for LA, but out-rebounded Kareem, nearly put up 10 assists. I was not alive to see the 82 Lakers play. Any NBA historians watching this video, let me know your thoughts on these Lakers and who you think was the playoff MVP for this team and the better player in 82 between Magic and Kareem. Any LA fans who are over the age age of 50. I love to hear what these Lakers were like following them live. With that said, I'm going with Magic Johnson as the 82 playoff MVP, the 22-year-old, but I also see the argument for Kareem as well. Anybody who disagrees, I'm curious to know your reasons why. 1983, easily Moses Malone, 12-1 postseason record, average of 26, 16, and 2 blocks on 54% shooting. Big Mo on another level, no doubt Moses was the best in 83. 84, series went the distance between LA and Boston. Bird Finals MVP, also the best player in the game, averaged 27.5 points, 11 boards, 6 assists, over 2 steals, 1.2 blocks, over 52% shooting from the floor. Second leading scorer DJ averaged 16.6 points. Parrish and MacLeod each a shade under 15. 1985, Jabbar won Finals MVP, averaged 26, 9, and 5, got hot in those finals, but by the mid-80s, Magic was clearly the best player in LA. This was the height of the Magic, Worthy, and Jabbar trio before Kareem declined. Worthy and Jabbar's stats very similar. While Johnson averaged over 15 assists in those 19 playoff games, LA went 11-2 in the West, averaged 136 in the first round sweep. Magic also the best Laker in round 1 versus Portland, averaged 22, 8, and 17, while Scott and Jabbar each put up over 20 in the Nuggets series. Magic just 13, 8, and 16, but because of the Boston Massacre beatdown in Game 1, many written LA off. It was Cap who went off, 30 and 17 the second game, followed by 26, 14, and 7 the third game on 10 of 13 shooting. Game 5 at the Forum, a 36-point masterpiece, while Game 6, Jabbar put up 29 in the closeout, despite Magic's 14, 10, and 14, and Worthy's 28. The 38-year-old Jabbar, unprecedented stuff, and the main reason why LA beat Boston. Realistically, every series in the West was a cakewalk and wouldn't have mattered who played the best those games. The finals was everything to the Lakers, especially beating Boston for the first time in a championship matchup. That's why I give Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the playoff MVP nod in 1985. 1986, Larry Bird obviously, another stellar postseason run, averaged 26, 9, and 8, while teammate MacLeod also beasted, averaged 25 a game, 58% shooting, one of the best teams all time. Prime MacLeod overshadowed and underrated, unstoppable in the post, while Larry made all the winning plays, a triple-double clincher in the finals, played one of his best individual games, not from a statistical standpoint, but absolutely dominated the Twin Towers of Hakeem and Ralph Sampson, out-rebounded the 7-4 Giant for the series. Larry legend at the height of his powers, his impact literally second to none. Another main reason why the 86 Celtics will always be considered one of the best teams all time. 1987, Magic Johnson, Finals MVP, regular season MVP, it was his time to shine. Although teammate Worthy averaged more points and shot 59% shooting in the playoffs, it was Johnson who gave him many easy looks in transition. While Jabbar turned 40 by the postseason, still averaged over 19 in 18 playoff games. LA went 11-1 in the West to sweep over the 39-win Sonics conference finals. Worthy averaged 30.5 points, but Magic shined brightest in the finals. Averaged over 26, 8 rebounds, 13 dimes. Worthy just under 21 against Boston. Johnson the junior game-winning Skyhook Game 4, along with a 19-assist clincher in Game 6. No question about Magic being the best in the 87 postseason. 1988, the back-to-back champs, although Worthy won Finals MVP, the final stats between him and Magic, Johnson 13 assists, more efficient, but big game James saved his best for last with 36, 16, and 10 in Game 7 of the finals. Game 6, Worthy put up 28 and 9, Magic 22 and 19 dimes. LA heavily tested en route to the finals. Game 7 versus Utah, Johnson the engine, him and Worthy each dropped 23, but Magic has 16 assists. Game 7 against Dallas, Worthy 28, 7, and 7, while Magic 24, 9, 11. Although Worthy's finals numbers, in my opinion, well deserved and justified due to him playing his best game in the most important game of his career, Magic was better overall in the playoff run as a whole. The one who got Brian Scott, AC Green, and old Kareem involved in the offense, I give the tiny edge to Magic, the most important player on the Lakers. Worthy deserved considerations for 1B given how clutch he was, very debatable either way. 1989, although Joe Dumars got the hot hand in the finals, Isaiah Thomas was the playoff MVP for Detroit. Average over 18, over 8 dimes, tough as nails, extremely well balanced squad, physical. Jordan's Bulls the only team to win a game against these bad boys. MJ took Detroit to 6, while Thomas averaged nearly 21 in the Bulls series. Dumars had his hands full guarding MJ. Big Joe just averaged 13 on 37% shooting versus the Bulls, while Thomas responded every time after the 2 losses. dropped 33 in Game 2, 27 the fourth game, and had 33 in the Game 6 closeout, even outscoring Jordan's 32 that game. This is why Thomas was the best postseason player for these 89 Pistons. 1990, Isaiah Thomas again averaged 20.5 points over 8 dimes, dropped 21 in Game 7 worst of both, also putting up nearly 28 against Drexler's Blazers on 54% shooting as a point guard. Thomas made sure his team was going to close out 3 straight on the road after falling Game 2. 1991, 92, and 93, no question about it, Michael Jordan by far the most dominant three-peat the league will ever witness, not to mention his numbers were better in the non-title years while having no help. The best player every series by far. The lowest points per game in the series MJ averaged between 91 and 93 was 29 points a game in the 91 first round sweep of the Knicks. His highest, 45 a game in 92 versus the Heat. Jordan also went on to average 41 in the 93 finals, ruining Charles Barkley's title dreams forever. The Knicks and Suns franchise 28 years later still haunted by MJ's greatness. 94 and 95, Hakeem Olajuwon, 94 without another star, averaged 29, 11 over 4 assists and 4 blocks to outplay Barkley and Karl Malone in back-to-back postseasons, getting the best of the previous season's MVP, and to holding Patrick Ewing to 36% shooting in the finals, to absolutely abusing, annihilating, humiliating, and dominating MVP David Robinson's San Antonio Spurs in the conference finals and sweeping Shaq in the finals. Incredible 2-year stretch by the Dream. 96 to 98, it's Michael Jordan's turn to prove his GOAT dominance. A much lower scoring era by the late 90s, depended on heavy defense, averaged between 27.3 points to 36 a game in the 12th series, single-handedly carried the depleted 98 roster to a title. The Last Dance, absolutely classic, couldn't have written a better ending than that. 1999, Tim Duncan averaged over 23 points, 11.5 boards, 2.5 blocks on 51% shooting, his second year in the league, en route to a 15-2 postseason run. Second option David Robinson averaged under 16 a game, incredible accomplishment by the 23-year-old phenom. 2000, Shaquille O'Neal, who averaged nearly 31 points, over 15 rebounds. O'Neal was just a beast in 2000, while in 01, the closest thing you'll ever see to a 1A, 1B tandem. If there was any year, there should have been co-playoff MVPs. 01 Kobe and 01 Shaq was the answer. Shaq dominated the finals, winning the award, but in the San Antonio and Sacramento series, Kobe was the best player. Shaq was better in round 1. The Lakers going 15-1, doing so against 450-plus win teams. San Antonio realistically was the second best team all season, and that should have been the real final series. Kobe would have won finals MVP then, but if I was forced to choose one for playoff MVP in 01, I'm giving the tiny slight edge to Shaq, only because the Lakers dropped one game to Philly in overtime of game 1. Kobe played his worst game that postseason, only scoring 15 points on 7 of 22 from the field. That was the only bad game Kobe played in those playoffs, while Shaq's worst game still finished with 19. 2002, while Kobe was again better in the San Antonio series, Shaq averaged 30 in the conference finals against Sacramento, including a 41.17 rebound game 6, followed by 35 in game 7, while Kobe was also great against the Nets and closed out game 3. Shaq averaged an insane 36-12 on 60% shooting, completing a three-peat. Shaq the 02 playoff MVP. This picture's all you gotta know. 2003, one of the best carry jobs all time, Tim Duncan averaged nearly 25 and 15, over 3 blocks, over 5 assists on 53% shooting, dominated on both ends. Prime Duncan was special. 2004, insanely balanced. Although Billups was the best player for Detroit those finals, Ben Wallace the lockdown, the biggest team effort of any championship. It's honestly a 3-man toss-up between Big Ben, Rip Hamilton, and Chauncey. The first round series, Hamilton outplayed Michael Redd. Against New Jersey, Hamilton averaged 20.6 points, Billups just 15, Rip also 26 big points in Game 6, both the backcourt special in Game 7 versus New Jersey. While drawing the Pacers series, nobody else besides Hamilton averaged more than 13 points a game for Detroit. Ugly, physical, low scoring, Hamilton was the best player that series, outscored prime Jermaine O'Neal and Ron Artest. Hamilton also scored 20 plus every one of those 6 games, when the whole team averaged just 75 points, almost 1/3 of Detroit's points. Without him, the Pistons Pistons wouldn't even touch 65 in many of those games. Not an exaggeration, Hamilton's offense pure all postseason to also match up with Kobe in the finals and giving the Mamba problems as well. Phillips the engine to the offense, Big Ben the defensive anchor, but Hamilton the most consistent Pistons all postseason. I'm giving playoff MVP to 2004 Rip Hamilton. 2005 Tim Duncan versus Manu Ginobili, very close. Ginobili very efficient, made big plays. Duncan, of course, the defense phenomenal, both amazing against Seattle round 2. Timmy dominated again against Phoenix, averaged 27 and 14, proving why he's the best power forward. Phoenix had no answers for him. Manu was great in the finals and shot nearly 50% from the field. Since Duncan had the two Wallaces hounding him, pivotal game 5, Ginobili just shot 5 of 16, Duncan dropped 26 and 19. While game 7, although Timmy didn't shoot well, still dropped 25, including a clutch jumper late. I slightly go with Duncan over Manu. 06, Dwayne Wade to average 28, 6 and 6 over 2 steals and a block. Shaq was past his prime. 2007, yes, Tony Parker won Finals MVP, but the playoff MVP for San Antonio was clearly Tim Duncan, who didn't have his best series versus Cleveland. The West was way more competitive anyway. To put up over 22 and 11, 3 rejections, Parker almost 21 a game. The real finals matchup was actually against the Suns. Timmy 27 and 14, 4 blocks on 57% shooting. Parker shot 45% for that series. Duncan a block shy from a triple-double in the clincher. Tim also got the best of Carlos Boozer in the conference finals, was still top 3 player in the game. Everybody knew Duncan was still San Antonio's best player in 2007. There was never a doubt. 2008, Paul Pierce won Finals MVP, but the Celtics playoff MVP, Kevin Garnett. Yes, Pierce had the great numbers in the finals, but KG was the one who dominated Gasol. Garnett also the best player on the roster in every East series. Although Pierce had a great Game 7 versus Cleveland, only shot 40% from the field, Garnett shot over 50%. KG also dominated Game 1 with 28 big points. Game 5, Garnett 26 and 16 against the Pistons. KG averaged nearly 23 and 10, over 52% shooting that series. Pierce under 20 a game. The big ticket masterpiece 33-point Game 5 versus Detroit. Anyone who watched the 08 Celtics run knows KG was the most valuable player for the Celtics that playoffs. 2009 and 2010, Kobe Bryant easily, no question about that. 2011, Dirk Nowitzki, no question about that. 2012 and 2013, LeBron James easily for Miami, pretty straightforward. 2014, a tricky one, 3-man race between Duncan, Parker, and Kawhi Leonard. Leonard the Finals MVP, but wasn't elite yet. TP arguably the best in round 1, but Kawhi came alive against Portland round 2, while Duncan the best for against OKC, averaged 18 and 10. While Parker struggled Game 6 versus OKC, only had 8 points, Duncan had 19 and 16, plus a clutch dagger over Reggie Jackson in crunch time. Leonard's sensational the last 3 finals games. But with that said, I'm going with Tim Duncan for 2014 playoffs MVP, mainly because of Game 6 versus OKC. The Thunder clearly the second best team that year. If there was just half a second extra on the clock, Duncan would have had a putback game winner to seal Game 6, but time ran out because Tim only scored a point under Parker. His amazing defense made him more valuable in my opinion. While Kawhi didn't play his best to the finals, I'm going with Tim Duncan for playoff MVP in 2014, but by a slight margin. 2015, no question, it was Steph Curry, the playoff MVP. Iggy won Finals MVP because of guarding LeBron and being the series-changing factor when he was inserted to the lineup, but Curry's greatness cannot be ignored. Dominated in the New Orleans series, especially against Houston, looked like the best player on the floor, playing against AD and James Harden, no doubt about that. 2016, of course it's LeBron. Although Kyrie's greatness as a number 2 can't be ignored, LBJ, the leader of that team, refused to lose, overcame plenty of adversity. 2017, Kevin Durant, the Finals MVP, or Steph Curry, very close. Although KD missed 2 games versus Portland round 1, that was a cakewalk. Matter of fact, the entire Western Conference a cakewalk. Curry would have been the MVP of the San Antonio series, but the team was no dread after Kawhi's injury. While against Cleveland, KD's greatness separated himself from Steph, absolutely torched LeBron the whole series, 56% from the field, averaged 35. Curry a solid 27, 8, and 9, but shot only 44%, outscored by Kyrie again. KD drained the clutch jumper in Game 3 to make the series 3-0. Durant also showed up in the 4th game with 35. Curry struggled with just 14. Durant was also clearly the best player in Game 5. Already had 39 points with 5 minutes left when the game was basically over. LeBron and Steph scored a couple extra baskets to boost their stats in garbage time. 2017, Kevin Durant, the best for Golden State, proved what he was capable of in the final stages. 2018, Durant Finals MVP. Hate to break it to Steph fans and KD haters, but Durant once again playoff MVP for the Dubs. Curry missed the entire round 1 series for San Antonio. No biggie. Steph came back for Game 3 against New Orleans, but Golden State with KD was already up 2-0 while outplaying Anthony Davis the first 2 games. The Houston series, KD was clearly the best player, averaged 30.4 points, Curry 25 a game. KD also outplayed MVP James Harden. While in the finals, Durant the better statistical averages. Steph was better in 3 of those 4 games. Yes, but was an absolute travesty in Game 3. Scored just 11 points on 3 of 16 shooting. Durant single-handedly carried Golden State in that win with another clutch dagger. Even if Curry had an okay Game 3 and scored around 20 points, it might have been enough for him to win Finals MVP, but that one very awful game left a huge stain in his chances. Durant's Game 1 struggle still managed to score 26. KD also shot 52% for the series, Curry just 40%. 2019, Kawhi Leonard, no doubt about that. 2020, LeBron James Finals MVP, Laker playoff MVP, it's still LeBron over Anthony Davis. Although you could argue AD was better in some of those games, James was the more consistent star, averaged a triple-double against Portland that series. Dropped 38 in Game 3. The 4th game had a 30-piece on 10 of 12 shooting, advantage LBJ. The Houston series was basically even between the two, while in the Nuggets series, AD heavily outplayed Jokic and drained the game winner in Game 2. While LeBron closed out Game 5 with 38, 16, and 10, and LeBron dominated the finals to average nearly 30, 12, and 9 on 59% shooting, James was the leading scorer 4 of those 6 games, while Davis struggled a bit in the later games. The answer is clearly LBJ. 2021, Giannis Antetokounmpo, no questions asked. Despite missing 2 games versus Atlanta, Greek Freak showed up against Brooklyn, 40 points Game 7, an all-time great finals performance, averaged 35 and 13 versus the Suns. Middleton a great second option, but Giannis was by far Milwaukee's best player. If the 69 Finals MVP would have been awarded to the winning team, the playoff MVP and Finals MVP for Boston would have easily been John Havlicek. Now to recap, between 1969 to 88, the Finals MVP on the left versus the actual playoff MVP on the right. The changes: 1973 Walt Frazier, 1978 Washington Bullets Bobby Dandridge over Wes Unseld and Elvin Hayes. In 79, I had Gus Williams slightly ahead of Dennis Johnson, Jabbar over Magic in 80, perhaps the most debatable one here. He was clearly by far the best Celtic, and Magic Johnson in 88 a little bit better than Worthy for the back-to-back title run. This would have given Bird 3 total playoff MVPs if such an award existed. Magic would still have had 3, Kareem would have had 3, while Dandridge and Williams would not have been forgotten. 2 forgotten greats as the decades pass. 6 changes so far. Moving on from 89 to 07, I had Isaiah Thomas over Dumars in 89. IT the better overall player for that title run, while the 90s to 2003 playoffs MVPs pretty much the same as finals MVPs. No changes since MJ, Hakeem, and Duncan, Shaq, all amongst the best of the best. 2001, there was a good argument for Kobe, but I ultimately went with Shaq by a slim margin. For 2004, Rip Hamilton absolutely vital against New Jersey and Indiana, who Detroit had a harder time beating than the Lakers. Hamilton clearly better than Billups in those series. In 2007, Duncan dominated against the Suns, the real matchup to determine the champion, just didn't have to play his best in the finals. So a total of 3 changes between 89 to 07. From 08 to 2021, Kevin Garnett, clearly the best and most valuable player for Boston in the 08 title run, Pierce the go-to scorer, but KG's defense elite. 2014, very close up in the air between Kawhi, Duncan, and Parker. I ultimately went with Duncan because of his clutchness in Game 6 over OKC, used his fundamentals and reliable post moves to eliminate them, avoiding a Game 7, while Steph Curry, obviously the best Warriors player in the 2015 playoffs because his numbers weren't as eye eye-popping in the finals, role player Iguodala got enough votes for the award. So between 2008 to 2021, there were 3 changes. All in all, in the 53 years the finals MVP award were handed out, I made a total of 12 changes. If there was ever such thing an award called the playoff MVP, since the finals MVP don't necessarily mean that's the team's best player, they just had a good final series, and that's just one series anyway. Once again, Walt Frazier 1973, Bobby Danrich 1978, Gus Williams 1979, Larry Bird 1981, Magic Johnson 1988, Isaiah Thomas 1989, Richard Hamilton 2004, Tim Duncan 2007, Kevin Garnett 2008, Tim Duncan again 2014, and Steph Curry 2015. Every season since then, the finals MVP, well earned by the star who would have also been the postseason MVP. Thank you so much for watching this video. I spent a lot of time researching all my years, analyzing all the NBA champions and analyzing the finals MVPs along with the best players on their teams. Which ones on this list did you not agree with me? Let me know your reasons below. If you want to learn more about NBA history, subscribe for more content for extremely insightful NBA knowledge. I hope all y'all enjoyed my video. And before we go right now, since you guys don't believe that I can name every single NBA Finals MVPs, I'll do it right now with my eyes closed. Let's do it. 1969, it's Jerry West. 1970, Willis Reed. 1971, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 1972, Wilt Chamberlain. 1973, it's Willis Reed. 1974, John Havlicek. 75, Rick Barry. 76, JoJo White. 77, Bill Walton. 78 is Wes Unseld. 1979, it's Dennis Johnson. 1980, Magic Johnson. 81, Cedric Maxwell. 82, Magic Johnson. 83, Moses Malone. 84, Larry Bird. 85, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 86, Larry Bird. 87, Magic Johnson. 88, James Worthy. 89, it's Joe Dumars. 90, Isaiah Thomas. 91, 92, 93, Michael Jordan. 94, 95, Hakeem Olajuwon. 96, 97, 98, Michael Jordan. 99 is Tim Duncan. 2000, Shaquille O'Neal. 2001, Shaquille O'Neal. 2002, Shaq. 2003 is Tim Duncan. 2004, Chauncey Billups. 2005, Tim Duncan. 2006, Dwayne Wade. 2007, Tony Parker. 2008, Paul Pierce. 2009 and 2010, Kobe Bryant. 2011, Dirk Nowitzki. 2012, LeBron James. 2013, LeBron James. 2014, Kawhi Leonard. 2015, Andre Iguodala. 2016, LeBron James. 2017 and 2018, Kevin Durant. 2019, Kawhi Leonard. 2020, LeBron James. 2021, Giannis Antetokounmpo. You guys don't even have to double check because I have my eyes fully closed and I swear I got every one of these right. If you don't believe me, you don't even have to fact check me because I know my NBA knowledge. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I love all of you. See you next time.